Welcome to Unlucky, the podcast where we explore stuff in and out of our control, and the conclusion is usually we're not unlucky, we're just bad. I'm Fitz, and I'm here with Buckley. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing really well, actually. A little tired, but I'm hanging in there. Yeah.
Nice. Well, you are super busy, not just with work, but with the club.
Yes.
Me, as per usual, have been slacking, and I feel it. I feel the tension building. I think I've already lost Danny. Danny is no longer my friend.
Yep.
And I'm losing more and more friends the more I don't go out to stuff.
To be fair, I think the club in general almost lost Danny just to pickleball, which...
Really?
Yeah.
Man, pickleball is plaguing this nation. I think we've talked about it.
It really is.
But what's going on with the club?
We've got pretty intense 2 weeks coming up. A lot of football training, a lot of cardio. We've got the Indianapolis tournament this weekend that we're traveling to Junior D. So we're taking a full panel out there. I think there's going to be 15 of us. Maybe
Very
14
cool.
of us. Depends. And then next week we are traveling down to Atlanta to play Charlotte for the Junior B National Qualifier for the Southeast.
Wow, that's super cool.
Yeah. So
Atlanta's like hosting you guys.
Yes. Yeah.
That's nice.
So hopefully we can... Go ahead.
Are they reffing?
No, I think the division's going to send a ref up for that match.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yep.
Hopefully you can do what?
Keep everyone healthy this weekend while we play in Atlanta. We've got a lot of really good competition that we're going to be going up against, and then be primed and locked in for Charlotte in a week.
Hell yeah, man. It seems like the club's doing awesome things, and you've got a crew of players that are super locked in right now, which is awesome.
We do. The team that we have right now we're really firing on all cylinders. So,
do you want to give any shout outs or acknowledgments?
Just in general, I mean, our two coaches for their football team, Daryl and Ty, they went above and beyond this year. I've mentioned them in passing, probably not by name yet, but just in passing throughout the podcast, and they came to me, and really last year they came to me and like, hey, this is what we want to do. And I know previously we talked about, I set a lot of roadblocks in front of them, like, okay, well, if y'all want to do this is what y'all have to show me, because I need to see that y'all aren't gonna disappear.
And you know what it takes, so you're just like, this is what's got to happen. And they haven't batted an eye, and they've been charging forward, and
I mean, nothing's slowed them down. So
that's awesome. I can't wait to. It seems like you're at a point in this next 2 weeks where the rubbers meet in the road, and we're gonna find out.
It is.
Yeah,
I mean,
cool.
we set up we had a big team meeting early in the year, and they laid everything out very crystal clear. Hey, this is our end goal. This is what we're going to do to get there. You're either in with it or you're not in with it. And, we've had to remind some people that they were on board with that in January. And
yeah, they're going to lose some fucking kneecaps if they don't get back out there.
Yeah, I mean, at least maybe a little pinky toe or, a pinky finger, take them off, and just, you don't need those to catch football anyways. But
exactly, right.
They've done actually an amazing job. It's been refreshing to see people just take it over, and the teams actually responded to it very well. Like, last night we had 21, 22 people at practice, and that's
awesome.
That's been actually on the low side of the training nights. There's been nights where we've had up to 30 people at training, and everyone keeps showing up. Everyone's putting in work outside of the trainings, it's really refreshing to get that competitive atmosphere, and there's 30 of us that all have a common goal that we're driving to, and it's very apparent in the club that like
Right.
this is what we're going to do. Um,
The only
hoping
thing,
we can do that with hurling in the future as well, but right now football's
yeah,
rocking
they're
and
setting
rolling.
the model, they're setting the template for what kind of energy and tempo and expectations. It's all about expectation management, and laying it out there at the beginning is
Yeah,
incredible with really clear goals. I think the challenge will be having that next set of goals ready to roll as things wind down. And something we'll talk about in our discussion with our with Dretta is like once y'all go into a down moment this year, like encouraging that word of mouth, like once they calm down and like, okay, start telling people again. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Keep the
Well,
momentum going.
that's what I'm struggling with right now because looking at the bigger picture, I'm just like, man, we need to do some more recruiting events, but like,
Yeah, I
you
think
know,
right now you're just stay
we're
focused,
yeah,
but be ready when it calms down to capitalize on all these new people. Be like, y'all are the ones we need to bring in the next year's
yeah,
recruits.
yeah,
Ryan Lowe is tapped out of people. Shout out Ryan Lowe. What's up, Ryan?
yeah.
But yeah, we had a great discussion. But tell us who our guest is.
Our guest is Andretta Erickson from Indianapolis GAA. I'm sure if any of y'all have ever gone to the Indy tournament or any tournaments around the Heartland division or even the Southeast division, y'all know who she is. She's been around for 14 years at Indy. So,
Yeah, 14 or 15, I think she said. Yeah.
yep. So it was really nice getting to hear her experiences with being a part of the club, and from what she said is mainly in the leadership position throughout those 14, 15 years. So she had a lot of great insights for us with there. And then their tournament's this weekend. It's Wednesday night that we're recording this. Yeah, it was really good. Really good episode. We had a lot of fun recording it, and
Yeah, it was a treat for me because she's just been an icon, and someone I've looked up to as a player and a leader. She was around from my earliest days of being involved in the sport. It was really cool
same.
to talk to her outside the context of a field or being exhausted or a bar that's too loud. So
Yeah,
picking her
yeah.
brain was awesome.
But that's awesome though, because like this is another reason why I'm glad we're doing this. Like, it's exactly what you said. Like, I've never gotten to have a conversation with her outside of that context that you just said. Either on the field where it's 90 degrees and the sun's beating you down, or it's at the afters and the music is too loud and you're having to yell at each other. Like, so it
Right.
was great. It was nice to sit here and talk to her and actually like learn something from her.
Yeah. And
And
15 years experience and like 12 or 13, I forget the number, of being in leadership. Like, just we only scratched the surface with her in an
yeah, for
hour's
sure.
time.
Hope you
Tune in.
enjoy it. Go follow, like, subscribe, share it with your friends, share it with everyone. We're on all the streaming platforms, and if we're not on the one that you use, let us know. We'll get it uploaded. Feel free to send us any messages, comments, concerns. Just send it all in.
I'll have to recreate it. But yeah, welcome, Andretta.
Welcome.
Or do we call you Dretta? What do your friends call you? Okay,
Dretta.
Andretta feels like such. I've never heard you called that.
Yeah,
It does.
I feel like I'm in
Like,
trouble when I get full named.
okay, oh yeah, not my legal name.
Oh,
Well, welcome, Andretta Erickson.
Thank you.
Awesome
Happy
to
to
have.
be here.
good to have you.
Yeah. Quick question. We were just talking about braiding beards before we started recording, but Noah, I want to ask you: do you identify as a ginger? Because sometimes I say ginger stuff, and you're like, I'm not.
Uh,
I feel like you don't jump on that.
Yes
I'm
and no. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm a day walker at best. Red
Okay.
beard, and
And
before it was
then we
all
don't know
gone, it was
what
just
your
blondes. But yeah,
and Dretta's like super. It's like, oh wow, that's
well,
How
bald,
could
yeah.
very bald.
Hey, I would watch your mouth, Buckley, because you're coming down that road real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
Um,
mainly,
and what
mainly,
about you,
mainly
Dretta?
blonde.
Are you ginger? Got some red.
yeah. Weirdly born a blonde. And then like when I was 5, it turned dark brown, and then middle school it turned red. So I was in denial for many years. I think my license actually says that I have brown hair, brown eyes, and none of that is
Fascinating.
true.
Yeah, because you got something against redheaded people.
Well, they just have no
Most
soul.
people do.
Right, right. Good.
Well, I mean,
Um,
that might be true. I mean,
um,
you've got a little bit of red in there too, Buckley. So
yeah, yeah. Like late 20 started going brown, but it was orangey. It was a kind of orange red, younger. Um,
I
but we're
read
not here.
something.
Oh,
Oh,
go ahead,
sorry. I was
please.
just going to say, I read something the other day actually that that's becoming a dominant trait where guys have the red beard but brown hair.
Yeah, what's up with that? What's
I
the
don't
science
know.
there? That is what this podcast is about. Is
Yeah,
this?
I'm sure it's tied to global warming.
gotta
Ooh,
be.
Yeah, because
Biden
we
doesn't
can
want you to
make
know it.
we can make our own vitamin D. So there's got to be some good in that. That like we're better at it than
Yeah.
anyone else, and higher pain tolerance.
Wait, do we have to make vitamin D because we can't go in the sun?
Maybe.
Yeah, the higher paid tolerance is what got me thinking of it because Noah was like crying about braiding his beard. He's
Oh
like, I have
yeah.
sensitive skin. I'm like, I don't think you're one of us.
No, maybe
Yeah,
not a true ginge.
they.
Shit.
I know when, they say when like I know this is an issue with Heather, but like when they have to give her gas or like
She's
pain
a ginger.
medication, yeah, she's most certainly a ginger, full blood, completely soulless. I can hear her laughing in there. They have to give her extra gas and pain medication because she's just like, yeah, this is not gonna
Yeah.
have any effect on me.
Yeah. My appendix ruptured when I was 4, and I woke up during the surgery for it.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And that might have been pre full expression of the red head
Yeah.
because,
Yep. Nobody knew.
wow, fascinating.
Just a
Man, that's
lingering
like when you
ginger.
became a superhero. Yeah, that's why it changed, is like the appendix.
Yeah.
But you are a player from Indy. How's that club
Yes.
doing? How's it going?
Yeah. So, I mean, things are great. We love our club. We're the best in the country, right?
Okay, great, cool. Now
Yep.
that that's
Podcast over. We killed it,
yeah,
Yep.
guys.
Yeah.
in under 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep. Nailed it.
What
Well,
else?
we've got our big tournament coming up this weekend. Little bit of discrepancy. We like to say that it's the second biggest tournament outside of nationals, but found out that West Coast Sevens also claims that.
Mm,
But they have more teams because they run sevens. So they run the same amount of fields, can fit more teams in, shorter games. So we are the second largest full size tournament after nationals. That's what
whoa.
I'm going to label it as.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool marker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So that's a big deal.
5
That's happening.
fields. How many teams are coming?
Yep, 5 fields. So I am making the team welcome bags upstairs right now. And so counting our own teams, because of course we give ourselves gifts as well. There are 28 different teams. Some of those are combined too, that there are like some clubs where there's 2 or 3 that are combining to make a team, but making 28 bags.
Wow. How
Nice.
many teams is Indy put?
We've got 1 camogie, 1 ladies football, 1 hurling, and 1 Gaelic football. So the four
Crazy. And probably
codes.
an army of volunteers. Going to y'all's tournament, my like early 20s was it was inspiring. Like going to y'all's, it was like, oh god, after months by myself in a field and getting a few college students together, going to y'all's tournament was just like mind blowing. And I don't know if it was that big then. I kind of doubt it. It's probably grown a lot since, but it felt
Yeah.
ginormous to me.
Yeah,
So do
I
you
think
ever think about that? Like the new players that come to the experience you're making? And what's your role in this tournament, by the way? Are you coordinating or what?
so I am one of the many helpers just trying to get
Okay.
it done. We've got an events chair that's the lead on it,
Okay.
Jessica, and she is dispersing, help far and wide. That she's the first person that's like, I need somebody to do this, 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 and this,
Okay.
and
Awesome.
hoping that more people step up. So this year, especially, I took on a marketing role because the USGAA gave us a grant for marketing the event to not players or clubs because we don't need more of those, but to actually bring in spectators.
Okay.
So it has been really fun to spend somebody else's money on stuff.
That's super cool. We love when people take advantage of the grant system,
Yeah.
any that exist. Is there kind of do you have any expected ROI on that money? Are you charging anything for spectators?
Nope, not at all. It is purely just to get folks out there.
Awareness.
Yep. So it kind of a crapshoot. We're not sure how well it's going to work, but I think that one of the things that the USGA wanted from us was to document what we thought worked, what we didn't think worked, and just see what kind of turnout we get. So we have a billboard, actually two billboards in Indianapolis.
Whoa.
One's a permanent one is a digital one, so we rotate through.
Okay, what can we pause there?
Mhm.
And how much did it cost and what's the expected reach exposure like? Like what's the marketing? You know what I'm trying to say? Like how
Yeah.
many cars?
Yep. Yep. So it is it's on 465, which is the loop that goes around.
Of course,
And
yeah.
it is, I think it's like 68,000 cars a day or something like that. So
That's
we have it.
crazy.
And it started out, this is what I love about salespeople, that it started out, it was $2,750 to get a spot on the digital billboard rotating.
Okay.
And so we're like, great, awesome. That's in the
Yeah, that
budget.
seems great.
Yeah. And so we signed the contract, and the sales guy got back to me. He's like, I'm so sorry. I oversold that billboard and I thought I could move some people. So, what I can do is give you a permanent billboard, and instead of 1 week for 3 weeks. And I'm like, yep,
Okay.
that's fine. And then
Was
they
there enough?
closed part of 465 because of construction. So then he's like,
Sounds
oh,
about right.
I'm so sorry. So now I'm going to give you a permanent billboard and a spot on the digital billboard, all for the same price, just as a I'm so sorry. And I'm like, I'll take that screw up every time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What have you noticed an impact from the billboard on your
Um,
socials or
yeah, hits like just from people having one person took a picture and shared it and it started showing up everywhere. And other clubs from the US have called and asked, like, how did you get a billboard? Like,
yeah,
where did that come from? So that's been fun already.
man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I interrupted you. You're kind of like
Yeah.
going through the marketing stuff you've been working on.
Yep. So that piece was a big piece. We're also doing a little bit more grassroots where we got a bunch of coasters, like 5,000 coasters and like 100-yard signs, and just handed them out to the club and said, wherever you go to eat, wherever you go socialize, your own yard, like put all this stuff out. So we had, our club is probably 100 125 people. So just dispersing it out to everybody, anybody, getting stuff out that way.
That's a lot
We
of coasters.
It is,
You
yep.
think they're all going to make it to a table?
So I think so. What we did though is one side promotes the tournament and then the other side says, oops, did you miss the tournament? Here's our website and you can check out and see what we're doing the rest of the summer. So
Very cool.
has more of a shelf life at least.
Yeah, nice. That's smart.
Yeah. We've got some Spotify ads that we're running this week, as well as ads on NPR. So those started hitting this week. So that's been fun.
Wow.
Um, what else? Oh, we did influencer baskets, which I think is the most fun and probably the one that may not pan out, but I'm excited about it. So we kind of looked at who's big in Indianapolis and who might have a reach and if we could get to them. So we sent a personalized jersey along with like a Hurley, Slitter, Gaelic football to Pat McAfee to
Nice.
see.
Whoa.
Yeah, yep. Had some connections through one of our guys that works at Graham Rahal. Um, to try to get something specifically to him and not just send it into the void and hope it gets to him.
Right.
Same with Caitlin Clark. Now that she's in Indianapolis, we sent personalized jersey to her. And then Connor Daly, who's a Indy 500 driver, and his dad, Derek Daly, is from Ireland. So we sent him one too. So like just a few people like that were like, maybe there's a chance that they will just put on the jersey and take a picture and put it on their socials. Seems worth it. So trying that
Yeah.
too.
Who doesn't like a little Irish gift, Irish culture? Oh, look at
Yeah.
this quirky little.
Yeah.
That's so cool hearing about all that stuff. It feels like, I don't know, has this been done with a tournament where they've had this kind of grant money put in directly towards marketing? And this feels like playbook kind of stuff you're doing, like pioneer kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's two other clubs that got the grant this year, the West Coast Sevens and then Charlotte both did.
Okay.
Haven't had a chance to catch up with them because they just had their tournaments also.
Yep.
So kind
Man.
of anxious to see how everything went with them too.
Yeah, the community has got to take advantage of all this data that, or discovery, process discovery, and all the stuff that worked and didn't. Like
Yeah.
from 3 different groups trying it, everyone could learn a lot, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe make good cases for future grants.
Yeah. I would say moving forward, the biggest thing is be prepared for the fights that break out about who made the promotional materials.
Like who did the creative work or
No,
who
like
made
who
it
is
on?
in it.
Oh,
Like,
really?
yeah, like the two individuals that, because we had one camogie hurling, one Gaelic football, ladies football, and stuck with that look for all of the promotional materials. And
Okay.
that's a lot of chatter right now is how did they get chosen? Like, how come this person wasn't chosen? It's been
Oh,
pretty funny.
fascinating.
Yeah.
Do you, how did they get chosen?
Yeah. How did you make that decision?
Well, I did not make the decision. I'll
Oh, so
just throw that
it's
out
not
there.
your fault.
No, not at all. It wasn't me. But it has to do with who has good form and who
Mm.
in that photo was presenting the jersey well, because we wanted to be able to see the jersey, the city, like that kind of thing in
Yeah.
it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of
So
sense to me.
yeah. So the one guy that's in it, apparently his entire workforce is coming out to it because they saw the promotional materials and he has family traveling in from another city. And
That's great.
I'm like, well, at least we know that we pulled in his whole group.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. We've done some, photo shoots and played wannabe marketers and graphic designers and stuff, and it's always fun putting someone on a poster. And I think a few of us have been on posters in pubs for 5 or 6 years. A
Yeah,
long time.
I
They
know
just
th-
don't come down.
I know the ones at East Nashville are still up of you and Molly, and
That's hilarious.
I'm pretty sure the ones in Lost Patty have been up for 2 years now as well. So,
We should probably get some new information on those, Noah.
yep, that sounds
should-
like a job for you, Buckley.
I'm busy.
It also
I have
sounds like
never.
we need a billboard.
Oh,
I'm a
I
big
think
fan
so.
of that.
what were you
I
gonna
have
say?
never appeared in any of our promotional materials, but I have appeared in Philadelphia's. That when they did the promoting for, it's like their Philly sports guy was coming
Mhm.
out to try hurling. I am in the corner against two of their camogie players, and I look ginormous. That I'm
remember
sure it's the
seeing that
angle of the
picture.
shot.
Yeah, this rings a bell.
It was so big. It's like I look like I'm just about to squish the other two people, but
Hell yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I say.
Again, it's
Hell
that,
yeah,
that
get
Viking
some.
blood.
Bring it.
yeah.
Getting running around with a wooden axe in your hand, just like. That's
Did-
amazing.
Did y'all go through one of like the big not name brand, but the one of the big like billboard corporations, or was it just one of the local ones?
Lamar?
Yeah,
Lamar Advertising. Yep, sure did.
perfect.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Yeah, good work. Yeah, I work with them like on a regular basis for my normal job, so reached out
Oh, cool.
to them right away just to see what they had in their inventory.
They just have great branding, their name's on every billboard. So
Yeah.
that's how I know.
Yep, for sure. And then shout out to one of our club members, Woody White. He is the graphic designer for USA Gymnastics. And
Whoa.
so he does a lot of our graphic design stuff in his free time.
That's
So
awesome.
Yeah, so he just cranked stuff out for us. It was great. The Lamar tried to do like, here's what we would suggest, and he was like, how about this instead? So it's nice to have him on our team.
Super cool. Yeah, I love talent on the field and professional talent in the volunteer room.
Yep, absolutely.
You said you had 125 members in the club?
Yeah, I would say between 100 and 130. I'm not sure
Okay.
where we ended on registration.
How was that broke down? Do y'all have, is it, 90% players, or are there a lot more social members, or do you know roughly the breakdown?
We have very few social members. I would say there might be a couple guys that are coaching and not playing, so they registered, and then maybe one of our ladies who had a baby this year, so she's not playing but still wanted to register. So I would say like 99% that we just don't have that base that is aged out yet but still involved.
So
That's awesome.
so then with having that many players, who's helping the day of the tournament run all of that? Is it just players that have just decided, hey, we're not going to play this year?
The shitty ones. The bad ones, Noah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Fair enough.
The first thing that happens is if somebody gets injured, like end of May, beginning of June, we're like, ooh, when do you think you're going to be back playing? Like, do you want to run the scoreboard? Do you want to be a field manager?
You need to take a few more weeks off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You need a little more time.
You got to really let that heal.
Yeah. Like, oh, you're on crutches? That sucks. Are you still coming to the tournament?
Yeah. Just have one of those little motorized scooters.
Yeah. But to fully answer your question, we've got some folks that decide, I don't need to play in a tournament. I don't need to play, 3 games in one day. So they'll just volunteer the whole day. Some people will try to do a mix. But then we've got the Circle City Irish Fest is a new Irish festival that's in town. And so they've been trying to get more involved in all the different Irish cultural things. So we've got some of them volunteering. Our local AOH is coming out and doing like food concessions type stuff. So we've got, and people's parents, people's spouses. So kind of a mix of players. Yep.
Nice.
Cool. A question came to mind a few minutes ago was, do you guys have a lot of babies in the club? Are there parents, or what's the youth situation?
Yeah, we tried to do a count recently of marriages that have resulted from the club and then babies that have resulted from those marriages. And we're claiming a lot at this point that I think we're up over like 12 marriages. But there was a baby boom in our club probably about 6 years ago. So we're kind of at that like kindergarten, first grade age. So hopefully getting, a little bit more of a robust youth program going from, just the kids, because it's hard to launch a youth program. They've got so many other things that they could do.
Or do you have one going?
Yeah, I wouldn't say we failed. I would say COVID failed us all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It just never came back
the
from
wind
there.
out of your sails.
Yeah, for sure.
How long have you been with the club?
Ooh, I always hate answering this because I feel like I should be better than
skill-wise?
Yeah. This will be my 14th season with the club.
Wow. Okay.
So
that puts us to 2010?
Yeah.
So how old is Indianapolis? The club, obviously, but the city.
Yeah, we started in 2005.
We will also be quizzing you on the city information, too. I do want to know. Like, why is it called the Circle City?
Because the middle of downtown is a circle, monument circle. And then it's built out from there. It's one of the few planned cities in the U.S. The same guy that planned our city planned Washington, D.C. So that's why it's built on a 1 mile square downtown, and then it grids out from there.
Wow. Look at you. 14 years. How long have you been in the city?
19.
Oh, so that puts you right kind of 2005, right when the club was started. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, but I didn't find out about it for the first 4 years that I was here. Bummer.
So it's such a classic situation.
I know.
People don't know unless they get a billboard going.
Yeah.
Yep.
Took y'all 15 years to get your first billboard.
I mean, we're on par for that, so
About Ben?
Me and Noah's idea is some Irish tourism board
Yes.
money injections paired with Gaelic sports. Just like help our clubs by like if you're gonna do Irish tourism, spend in some cities, like just put a hurler on there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or just put some Gaelic football or something.
We also
Um,
want to talk to the Dublin airport about having the Croke Park tour and the Skywalk tour, like a big thing in Dublin, from what Buckley and I was talking about over the past couple months. Is there's been so many people that have started clubs because they've just like wandered into a game or wandered into Croke Park and not even knew what the sport was, and then come back here and started clubs. It's like, okay, we've got to get more people from the airport just going straight to Croke Park. So
I bet
Yeah.
they would like
Yeah.
that.
yeah,
right.
everyone would like it. Benefits everyone. We want to do the research on this, but I feel like the data will support that. Like a significant amount of U.S. clubs were founded by people that came back from a trip, and they're like,
Mhm.
the story is they randomly found it, but it was, probably some factors at play that pushed them towards a game or something. And then because, what me and Noah want is just a shitload more clubs around us so we don't have to drive as far.
Yeah, absolutely. We
So we
would
need more club
really,
founders.
yeah, we need an Iowa club because that's the geographical center of the Heartland Division. So, like, we need somebody in
That
the
would be
middle
amazing.
there. Yep.
That loves coordinating events. um, oh, how does a club get to your tournament, and how established do they need to be? Like grassroots stuff, like who can go?
Yeah. So we say it's an invitational. I don't know that we've ever gotten to the point where like it's purely invitational, but selfishly, we try to build the tournament around the teams that we have in Indianapolis. Like we want competition for ourselves at the base level. So chances of us having like senior hurling out here is pretty slim unless there's like some exhibition where two teams are coming in. But
Mm.
that's fun to watch, but not really helping us develop.
Hmm.
So our goal is always to try to build out codes around what level we're playing. Um, but it kind of has been word of mouth. I think up until this year, we've had an overload of further reaching clubs come, but there have been an influx of like regional tournaments that have happened that are on the same weekend. So I think that we don't have as big of a pull as we used to, which at the end of the day is okay. But we do have a team from Mexico City coming.
Whoa,
The
that's
ladies
cool.
football team, Los San Patricios. That
Wow.
Yeah, we're excited about that. That they've been posting it on their socials. Looks like mix of probably Irish people that started it, but then locals that have joined in. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, very cool.
And they're a new club, so no established teams necessary. We've got a bunch of groups that are joining together, like Milltown and Cincy are going in together for their ladies football. I think we're joining Naperville and Trinity for Camogie just because we don't have enough this year. So individuals can come. We'll put you with somebody.
Yeah. The, what do they call it? Tradesmen that travels.
Rich.
It's like a tinker.
No. Journeyman. A
Oh, sure.
journeyman.
Yeah.
That's a nicer word. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know the whole apprenticeship hierarchy, so if I'm getting that wrong, don't come at me at the comments. I'm just kidding. Do come at me. We need the social engagement.
Yeah, we really do,
Um,
guys. Just
Yeah, please engage. We're trying to get rich off this thing. But anyway,
no, I might have to see if y'all can put me on a hurling team for a game or two in between the football matches that we have. So
Absolutely.
I'll bring the
journeyman
sticks up there.
hurlers they're literally like hedge knights. They travel around and join battles and just kind of offer their services. And then usually the team they're joining, they're incredibly grateful and thankful because they're lacking players. They don't have subs. And you usually get this old timer who's got like a busted knee, a knee wrap or something.
Mhm.
And he's better than most people on your team. He just hangs out for the day.
Okay.
It's kind of a cool piece of
You-
the community
Does a responsible journeyman hurler bring a jersey of every color, or do they expect the
They
team
expect.
to have one for them?
Yeah. Right, they expect, but yeah, it would be
Yeah.
more responsible. You tell us, no, you're the guy here.
Yeah. What do you do?
I've always kind of leaned on the other teams to have a jersey for me. But, I could
Maybe you
I
change your ways.
do have a lot of jerseys, so I could probably blend
Yeah, I
in with
bet
a
you
lot of
have a
teams as
trunk
well.
full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Hmm.
that's
Uh,
yeah.
if you need a certain jersey, the one thing that Indianapolis started doing last year at our tournament too is anyone who doesn't want one of their jerseys anymore, they throw it into a pile and they get sold at our tournament for like $10 a piece. So it was
Yeah.
like wolves descending on it last year.
That's
That
cool. That's a cool way to do it because we got to talk about this fast fashion in the GA community. We are responsible for so many stupid shirts being made every year, each like,
yeah.
new jersey, new sponsor, new set, yada yada yada. Pub league, travel league, fast fashion guys. Come on, we're better than this. It's 2024.
I do
I
like.
think I
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I think that I just counted because of this like getting rid of our jerseys thing. I think that I have like 28 jerseys,
Wow,
different jerseys,
crazy.
and I would
I
never wear any of them again.
Yeah, the material is not comfy or
No,
fun.
it doesn't breathe.
No. Yeah, why do they choose the worst thing for a jersey? Like, Noah's wearing our new one. How's it feel? Or is that just a training shirt?
It's they're just trading tops. We've
Okay.
got the sleeved ones, we got the cut off sleeve shorts, jogging
Yeah,
pants.
we've got some guys in the club with beautiful arms right now,
Yeah.
and they're rocking the cutoffs all the time. Makes me feel like shit.
Well, see,
Like,
the
dude,
theory behind it is we show up to the field
no.
in these. The cutoff is when
Oh,
we do the warm ups, and then when you go to game time, you put a dry jersey on. As a man who sweats quite a bit, I'm sure
oh,
you would
that's cool.
appreciate that.
I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of
Do
sounding
you,
like you know what
do you
a
have like
pump cover is?
breakaway?
Yeah,
What is that?
That's cool.
What do you mean?
A pump cover. Okay, it's this thing in weightlifting where people that go to the gym a lot, they start their session off with a giant shirt on because like
I think
the
my
way I
internet's
understand it
just
is
died.
like they're not pumped. They don't look good yet. Like their veins aren't pumping yet. Like they got to get the initial thing going. Like do some chest, do some arms, get everything going, and then they pull off the pump cover, and they've got like their string, cut off shirt and like. If it's a girl, she's got like her sports bra thing going on and everyone's looking great. But initially, you got to look like you're modest. You got to look, oh, I got this giant pump cover on. That's what it
Learning
is.
so much today.
Yeah.
To be fair, we
Um,
all are. We all are learning today.
That's what this podcast is all about.
No, that's
Knowledge is power.
I just inherited a bunch of jerseys from David. I think he gave me 11 or 12 jerseys from 10 era, and it was a lot of St. Louis, a lot of old ones that he got when he was playing at MTSU and things like that. So I just recently upped my jerseys.
Indy always had
as well.
Indy's travel always had super cool ones because you got the black team. It's like, oh, the black team. But they're like the B team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yep.
the jersey is cooler than the A team, which is all green mostly.
So we switched last year. We switched so that the entire club all travels in one jersey instead of divvying it up like the different sports, different codes, all that. So we all look the same now.
Nice. Unified branding.
One club. That's our motto.
One club. Are all welcome.
Absolutely.
What's the saying, Noah?
What saying? Sorry, I had a fly attacking me.
Where we all belong.
Yeah, where we all belong. Yes. I don't know if that's still the GAA's model, but yeah, for a while that was their big campaign. And then,
Yeah, we've how do you guys select your like highest level team versus your B team, or do you have tryouts and stuff, or what's the deal?
So Not like set tryouts, that it's kind of based upon a number of factors, and it's chosen by our coaching panel, that we've got a head coach or a coach's coach, that they're on the board, and then they select all of the different coaches for the different groups, whether it's, our practice coaches or if it's the different travel team coaches. And then that group is the one that selects the players, and nationals is the only time that we ever tell people like you have to be selected to go.
Okay.
But they base it off of like our pub league the whole summer, like seeing people play there, and then attendance at practices, that kind of thing.
So everything's a tryout, and nationals is like the final say so. Like this is the
Yeah.
select. All that is we're selecting for the national.
Yeah. Every day is a tryout. Better show up.
That's how I approach life. What
Could
can I
not
say?
agree more. Every day is a trial.
Like if every day is not practice, I'm fucked because it can't be game time yet.
Oh.
Um,
So, can I hop back for a second when you said that y'all are all under the same jersey now? Have y'all had any splits where you know Camogie and Hurling are going to play in one city, and then the football teams are going to play in another city? And did y'all just buy like 60 jerseys for the club so that if y'all need to split, you can just do that and still have the same jersey?
Yeah, we've never run into an instance where we've totally split that way, but
Okay.
when we ordered the new jerseys, everyone had the opportunity to purchase their own.
Okay.
And so we've got some number repetition within our club, but we figure besides nationals, that doesn't really matter. That
Yeah.
like I'm not going to be confused with the, 5'6", 250-pound guy that wears my same number. Um, but we did buy a handful of club jerseys as well. So like if somebody decided they didn't want to purchase a jersey, or if they're new, or if they're subbing, if we got a journeyman, then we've got a jersey for them too.
I
And
just
people
want to
who,
call out the fact that you put that poor guy at 5'6", 250.
he's gonna know who he is too.
You don't have to name him, okay?
That's very interesting because we did almost the exact opposite with our jerseys. Is say, hey, we're getting 25 of them. If you want to get your own jersey, you can. Don't get numbers 1 through 25, and that way we can keep track of them. We say, hey, there's a number 2, like that's our jersey. Now, no one listened to that almost immediately, but I think after having these jerseys for 2 years, I think we're only missing 2 numbers, which were both jerseys that we had given away to people that had come through town. So
That's
that's why
impressive.
I was wondering. It's
We
interesting.
the club jerseys are the crappy numbers. They're all in the 70s and 80s, so nobody wants to take those.
Nah.
No. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting tactic. So you've been around for 15 years. I wonder if you can talk about kind of the growth you've seen or been a part of, because something we're interested in is growth in general, grassroots, kind of making progression through the levels clubs experience and stuff. I think NGAC has felt stagnant at times and might be feeling growthy right now, and just would love your perspective and experience having such
Yeah.
a great tenure at Indy.
Yeah. So, I would say 2010, the year that I joined, and then like the next 3 years, we had a huge boom. Like I think at 2013, we were up over 200 members, and it was nuts. Like we were adding people like crazy. Our banquet the one year had like 130 people at it. That
Wow.
it was like full participation, and we just hit that sweet spot where like everyone was in like their 20s, early 30s. Like people didn't have a lot of kids, or at least, the people who were super involved didn't have kids yet.
Or didn't
Um
love them or wouldn't
yeah,
spend
yeah,
time, yeah,
yeah,
avoiding them, yeah.
didn't care about putting them to bed, whatever. Um but I don't know that there's like one thing that really was the key to that, other than when you had new people join, they told everyone that they knew. And so like every new person was bringing out like 2 or 3 new people with them, where, at this point, everyone that I've known for a decade and a half knows that I play these sports, and
Right.
they've either been out for it or they are not interested.
That's such
Uh,
an interesting point. With if you haven't been, it's like, yeah, it's the new people who still have that energy to talk about it and expose their friends and haven't alienated their friends from like forcing them to do it. It's like they can keep that momentum going. But if you kind of lose that, if that dies down, that's a bad spot to be in. You don't
mhm.
have that people talking.
Yeah.
Well, someone asked me the other day. They were like, "Noah, why don't you ever bring any of your friends out to play hurling?" I was like, all of my friends are on the field right now. Like, I work by myself, and like I've got two friends from high school, but outside of that, like I only talk to y'all. Like, y'all are my
Right.
friends, and you're already out here. I don't know what you want more from me. So
I sold my soul to pitch. You can
someone,
either come out and play or we're not friends anymore, essentially.
I mean,
Yeah.
and you're walking a fine line, Buckley. You're walking a very
I
fine
know.
line, buddy.
I know.
Shots
This is the only
fired.
thing keeping me in your good graces.
Uh, Interesting that you said something about like branching out, because we did have an instance. We had a hot minute where the Indianapolis club split, and there was a group called the East Siders that were going to branch out and do their own club because
That
they
sounds
didn't.
like a gang.
I know. Yeah. Like there's a lot of snapping, all the fun stuff. But
Snapping, like Snapchatting.
like,
Well, yeah,
yeah,
the
yeah,
Sharks and the Jets
yeah,
reference to the
little,
classic
little
musical.
older than Snapchat. Yeah.
I got you. The original Snapchat. One could argue.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I would like to remind you that I can play in the Knees That Crack tournament, so I'm not referencing Snapchat.
Which registration just opened up for? Go sign up for it if you're over 40.
I saw that. Yeah. Best tournament. Love it. But the East Siders lasted, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks because the administrative stuff is what bogged them down.
Wow.
That
That's a
will
very short
happen.
life cycle. It's like
Yeah.
email. Fuck this. Mean I gotta use a secretary.usa.america.ga.
That locks
.ie.
me out every 2 weeks. And yeah.
.ie.
And then if your
Classic.
password's more than 6 weeks old, you have to change it, and it can't be any of the
Yeah.
other ones from the last 18 years. So good luck with that.
If there's one thing we're getting right, it's email security.
Yep.
Um,
You don't want
And by
anyone
security,
hacking.
you mean,
so
You don't want
yeah,
anyone
nobody can
hacking
access
in.
it.
No one can hack into the emails and change anything. You don't want that, okay, Buckley?
right, maybe if someone hacked in, they would start responding to emails.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what a crisis!
Yeah, no, that would be the end of the world.
We're not supposed to respond to them. So big growth 2010 to 2013. When was that split?
So it was sometime in there that I think it was the thought that we were big enough that we could have almost like pods
Fascinating.
that like people who lived on that side of town could practice together. But then it was very divisive. That it was, oh, like you don't want to be with us, you don't want to hang out with us, because, I mean, 90% of why most of us play is the social aspect, but the community part of it. So it just wasn't long lasting because it wasn't the spirit of the club.
So did those members fold back in, or they
Yeah.
fall off?
Yep.
Okay,
They definitely came back. Yeah.
gotcha.
Yep. I think the practice pod idea is a sound one if you have that many people attending practice, but then you run into the whole, what if only 3 people show up at that practice? Then you're back to square one. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So one club, back to one club.
How do y'all? What's your week of training look like now?
So ideally it is travel hurling on Tuesday night. Wednesday alternates hurling and football, and it's open to anyone, whether they're a travel member or not. And then Thursday is football travel. And then Sundays are pub league matches. We do a football match at 10, one at 11, 2 hurling matches at 12, and another hurling match at 1, because we have 4 football teams and 6 hurling teams.
Wow.
That's
And
a lot.
It
Yeah, this is
is.
a lot. How many weeks is that?
The football one runs 10 weeks and hurling runs 12 weeks.
Dang.
Yeah.
So, okay, I guess maybe the better question is how many games does a team get?
Per Sunday, just one. You just play
Okay,
one
so 10
full,
to,
yeah, full sided is not quite accurate. We play 11s because it's on a football field and it's
okay,
20 to 25-minute halves, depending on if we're running on time or not,
That's pretty
gotcha.
which is
nice.
generally not. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge
Yep.
organizational effort
It
for a
is.
10 to 12 a 12-week time span.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Our vice chair of our club is the kind of the games commissioner for the leagues, and he does a great job with it. Chris Burrows, shout out.
Okay,
That's
how long has
great.
Chris Burrows been doing it?
He has been on the board for quite a few years now. And he was probably a joiner maybe 6 or 7 years ago. He's gonna correct me. I know he will. But it feels like he's been around forever in a good way.
How has Indy over the time you've been there, and how long have you been in like leadership roles?
Oh, I was elected onto our board before I was a member of the club. I was like, point of order. I don't think that that's possible.
Point of order. Yeah, yeah, that seems correct, but apparently
Yeah.
not.
So I've been on the board 12 out of 14 years here. And the
Okay.
years that I haven't been on our board, I've been on our divisional board.
Wow, that's amazing. It seems like y'all have like probably, I would guess, low turnover in your board.
For a while, there was like a core group of us that stayed on the board because we enjoyed it, had a lot of fun, and then we kind of got burnt out with it. So I think it's always an effort to try to get new blood in there, new ideas, spread the workload. I think my campaign the one year was like share the pain, spread the I don't remember what it was, but it was definitely share the pain. Like just trying to get like committees, get everybody to do things instead of it just relying on like those 9 people on the board.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Any thoughts, Noah?
No, that's
9 people. 9 people on the board. Would you like 9 people?
I go back and forth. Sometimes I would like to have 9 people, but I feel like that gives people the opportunity to slack. Uh, because there are so many people on the board. But then again, if you've got a good board and everyone wants to pull their weight and do things, that would be really amazing because because you're sharing the pain. Like you're literally just spreading the workload out over 9 people. So
Right. Yeah, can you talk about like good board cultures and bad ones that you've experienced? Or, that kind of, is it well spread out? When you said like we liked doing it, did y'all like working together and like things were just kind of good vibes and work was getting done?
Yeah, it was. So there were quite a few years where it was myself and Louis Landman, who were like chair and vice chair, and we were just kind of swapping back and forth. I think for probably like 5 years we had that run,
Wow.
and we worked really well together. Like I would say, spent at least one night a week, every week, just doing admin stuff, coming up with new ideas, like figuring out how to make our tournament more fun. He also he's a doctor and in his free time like writes code, so he made our whole website and like tries to figure out how to make it better and stuff. So that was a lot of fun, and we kind
What a
of
saint.
I know he's
People that
crazy.
do that, Noah, people that do that are a saint.
huh. But I think you missed a key part in that. He's continuously trying to make it better. I mean, just like really adding stuff to it all the time.
Sick new features.
Yeah, I know. Sick new features.
So here's the problem though: when he rolled off the board and we couldn't easily get a hold of him anymore, we ended up having to use a different website platform because without him continuously toying with it, like there were parts that just like died.
Yeah. Let me hand code this thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
Buckley.
hey, it's free when you do that. It's free versus like $30 a month for Squarespace.
Yeah.
Free
So
for you. It's not free for his time.
Oh yeah,
Buck
fully.
Buckley has done our website here, and it's
I'm
just.
gonna start logging billable hours for the club.
I mean, if that means you do something, Buckley, I will gladly pay it.
Oh,
No,
hell
no, Buckley does a great job with our website. So
What
yeah.
can I ask a question of you guys?
yeah, absolutely.
Of course.
What was the scoop with Middle Tennessee, and like how did that end or merge with Nashville, or what was the deal with that?
Yeah, that um
That's
that I started
that's
that
all a
club, and
Buckley question. Yeah, he
that was
started
like,
both of them.
when you said you were in town for like 4 years but didn't know the club existed. That's how it was with Noah. Both probably hanging around Murfreesboro,
Yeah,
Tennessee,
I
and
mean,
y-
opossums
y-
like Buckley was
yeah,
in.
he was in and out of the bar. I worked in
Yeah,
the kitchen of the bar when I started the MTSU club, and Noah, I think, was in and out of there.
yeah. I mean,
But
at least 2 or 3 times a week. It was really close to
yeah.
the house, and yeah.
Did you just not know David much?
No, I did. I was so deep into scuba diving, I couldn't afford another habit.
Okay.
Like it was, or
Yeah.
another hobby.
Noah
Sorry,
goes Noah
slip
goes
of the
all
tongue.
in.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I try, but no, I was buying
Uh,
thousands of dollars worth of scuba equipment in college. I couldn't afford to, pay $90 for a
Is
hurl, have it shipped.
is Murfreesboro a like hot scuba location?
We're gonna deviate
it's a
from the
great question.
program for a second. For a while, we switched back and forth as having the largest collegiate scuba program in the nation, and the other school I think was in Texas. But we were having
A lot of competition for that title.
um yes, but not as much as you would think. Like all your coastal cities.
I didn't think there was.
All right, yeah.
Okay.
So
North
sorry,
Dakota
folks.
State did not have a team, just telling you.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
it's
probably
like
like
so we had 3 nights of classes, 2 classes a night, and every week it switched between being in the classroom and being in the pool. So each class had 20 students, so 40 kids a night for 3 nights a week for a full semester. And then we would go out and we'd go to Florida at the end of the year to do checkout dives. Or at the end of each semester, we would go down there. But it was just, every 4 months I was going to Florida for a week for scuba diving. I eventually, after the first year or so, I became an assistant instructor. So I was helping them teach the classes and all of that. Um, but yeah, I was spending
so
way too
Noah's
much money.
problem is if he enjoys something, he just kind of lingers around afterwards, and people start giving him tasks to do. And that's what we did with him. Now look at him.
That is fucked up and
Is it?
very honest.
Did oh shit! I have
Yes,
to get you back for the website.
I'm very guilty of that. And I
Yeah,
mean,
I'll
y'all
do it.
didn't give me much choice either. I showed up in May for hurling. We took the summer off, got to play my first game, and then after that they were like, "Hey, we have a board position that's open. It'd be really awesome like if you thought about being on it." So within a few months I was already on the board. So,
Yeah, our board dynamic has always been one of like people drowning, trying to like, I don't know if that's the right imagery, but just pushing the next person below for air.
yeah. The newest person
Um,
gets pushed under for sure.
yeah. Okay, so Noah's hanging around, but I'm in the kitchen and I start a club that goes for like 2 years. We go to Indy probably a couple times. Um, oh, so my co-founder of the Wolfhound Club, or the Middle Tennessee Club, Jamie Norris, went to maybe y'all's tournament like before we really got going, and he met John Watson. It might have been St. Louis's turn. Met John Watson. He's like, "Oh my God, I'm moving to Nashville soon." We're like, "Sweet." And he's like, "I'll be your coach." So he starts coming down, coaching up the college team. That's amazing. So him and his wife Angie moved to Nashville. She's doing a residency, and yeah, I'm starting to graduate. I know I do my best to try to hand it off, but I'm like, I got to go to Nashville to work. I can't afford to drive back and forth to keep this thing alive. So I think basically the handoff was so poor. There was a contingent of really passionate guys like in the science department. Um, if you know Chris and Corbett and um, Eric and Eric Vick, our ginger Viking man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were kind of right behind me on this weird handoff moment. I think like I handed the reins off to Corbett, another guy that kind of dropped it immediately, and then all of us as we were kind of graduating our senior years or graduate degrees, whatever, just rolled into the Nashville club that John Watson started. He started that like my senior year, I think.
Yeah.
Whereas I was exiting. So it kind of just, most of us just kind of flowed into Nashville, and there's some fits and starts with the MTSU club over the next couple of years, I think, but nothing stuck.
It's tough to keep those going because of the turnover.
Yeah. Kids are putting on a lot of different hats, you know? You're reinventing yourself all the time. You're like, I'm into this, I'm not into this. Yeah, it's a crapshoot.
And then they're gone in 4 years, so you start over
Right.
again. Or maybe
Jamie
5.
Norris. Yeah.
Maybe more than that
Noah,
for some of us.
Do you want to comment?
Yeah. Yep.
Jamie Norris, his kid when we started the club 2011 was like, I want to say he was 8, maybe 6. I don't know. His oldest was 6, and like now his oldest is 19 or 20 and goes to Chattanooga, the school in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and started a hurling club down there. So his son started a college club.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a sweet story.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're doing. Have you heard anything?
Yeah, I talked to Junior probably a couple months ago when I asked him. Yeah, I asked him before. So he went to nationals and played with the Pittsburgh team, collegiate
college nationals.
Yeah, the collegiate nationals. And I asked him how everything was going. He was like, this semester everything just kind of deteriorated because everyone had so much stuff to do, like with finals and all that. And he's like, I think our fall semester is going to be the semester where we do the majority of our playing. So, so yeah, hopefully we can get down there and do some training with them this fall. So,
You guys got any?
That's so sweet when college people think that they're busy. I'm like, oh,
Right.
I remember when I was college busy.
yeah. Yeah.
Thank God.
We have a bunch of the Purdue players that are playing with us this summer, which is awesome.
Nice.
Some of them are from here, but there's been a couple more that we've picked up. A girl just came out last weekend, and she's going to play with us this summer. So we're happy to have them only 45 minutes north of us.
Yeah. We had
Purdue's one of the greatest stories, I feel, or the most consistent college team probably. Is that true?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Since I've been around, I would say so.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. Pretty cool, that staying power. What's up with y'all's Camogie team? Why don't you have a lot of people?
And pregnancies, like people not coming back after pregnancies. I know this is terrible. I'm thinking about not saying it, but now I feel like I've committed. That there's a few years ago where I jokingly said, the next person who gets pregnant, I'm pushing you down the stairs. And I thought it was understood that I was joking, but we had one of the girls played pregnant like all the way through nationals because she was afraid to tell me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Her kid's fine. He's like 10.
You should have clarified it's going to be in the first trimester, you know?
But it's just tough. Yeah. Yep. I know. Like that's my humor. Sorry. Thought everyone knew that.
It's the Erickson way.
Totally. Yeah. My whole family laughed about it.
You're weird if you don't. If
right.
you don't, yeah, you make it weird if you don't laugh at that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. It's just tough though, like to find the athletic ladies that aren't already playing sports and don't want to veer off from those sports that, we still try everything. I've become a creeper on Bumble BFF. So like, there's the dating app Bumble, but then you can like turn it around so it's the friend finder. Yeah. So like my profile is totally geared towards athletic ladies that want to come out and play. And it's a time suck though. I've, talked to like 30 women about this opportunity and coming out and then nobody shows. And I'm like, well, that was a lot of time.
Yeah. Sounds like it's not working.
No. And
And you
other
don't do it
clubs,
anymore.
yeah, other clubs though are saying like it's the best.
Oh,
And
interesting. Have you heard this,
yeah,
Noah?
Yeah,
Is this going
I've
around? Has
heard
it
it
reached your
from a
ears?
few clubs. I'm trying to get Baylor into doing it for a football team, and I don't know if she's got it set up yet or just not having a lot of success with doing it. But I've heard it has been successful in other cities.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Um, Women don't get a lot of opportunities to play in this country. Where one of the places they have opportunities is kind of like the lower level of men's hurling. You know what I mean? It's like junior C, junior B, whatever. But that's not cool in terms of the rules, I guess.
No.
Is that right now?
Yeah. That's a
yeah.
that's
Am
a
I right?
big no. We would never play co-ed anywhere. That is God. That's just
Yeah.
not part of the mission statement, Buckley. It's dangerous.
Yeah, and what's that mission statement?
But if one were to do it,
Yes.
this year we offered a like a penny if you wanted to wear a penny to symbolize that you are not to be shouldered or hit.
Nice.
Just to try
Just
something
a
out, see if that helps anything, if that makes some women more likely to come out and play co-ed that maybe don't.
okay.
So
And this is your pub league?
yeah,
Okay. Oh, that's really cool and inclusive. Cool.
yeah, we're trying. So it was just a thought that somebody else brought up on a like group call one time, and so we unveiled it and kind of in a hurry. So then we had to go back and explain it and talk about, like I can't put on a penny so that you can't hit me, and then I just play my normal game because that's not fair either.
Yeah, totally. And I think you're the player that's kind of the you're out there to give and take. Am I right?
Yeah,
Also the
absolutely.
Erickson. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Grew up with an older brother, 18 months older than I am. Like, if you're not hurting, you're not trying.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
To help us close, we make sure you get everything off your chest. What's getting you fired up these days about you?
Fired up in a good way or a bad way?
Both.
Any? Is there things that are inspiring you, or
Man.
to do great things, or things that are inspiring you in a bad way?
Um, I mean, to go back to the grant money that we got, like that was awesome. That they would just go out on a limb and be like, "Hey, we want you to spend this money to promote the game in your way and just go for it." Like the approval process was so easy. It was, here are all of our fun ideas and they're like, "Yes, go for it." So that was really fun, energizing for our club, for our tournaments, and hopefully like to report back out to folks in the future that that was pretty awesome. So I'm excited about that. Great opportunity. Very thankful for it.
Yeah, super cool. Okay,
Yeah.
now, now, what's the trash talk? What can the community or the organization do
Yeah.
better?
Man.
I don't want to frame it as trash talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're
I
always
think,
looking to drive the conversation towards room for improvement, constructive criticism and feedback. We're all
yeah.
players, so we pride ourselves on being coachable. So
Yeah.
sometimes I get a little too free with my language, but it's just like
Don't we
the
all?
feedback.
Um, Man, it's tough because, it's a volunteer organization and even our guys at the top level are volunteers, but there's some things that we've been waiting for that would have helped out. Like one of the things that we passed on for the grant is like bringing in a videographer to like take great footage and make it into like sizzle reels and stuff because they paid a videographer to come to nationals last year and they have great footage. It just hasn't been released or nothing has been done with it yet. And that's something that every club could be using, that they can create, a 1 minute hype video that you can just plug in your club info, where you practice, what time at the end, and get it out
Yeah,
there.
that's super cool.
Yeah, but volunteer organization, you have to wait until somebody has the time to address it, get it out there, get it to folks. So take some time, but it's that kind of stuff that like I'm antsy about. I want it out there because I think it would be helpful, especially knowing that they have great camogie footage, like to show our footage as opposed to, the YouTube video, fastest game on grass.
Yeah.
Great video. It's where we send everybody, but it scares the shit out of a lot of people too. Like, there's a lot of women that see that video and they're like, no chance in hell. Why would I ever play that?
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, well, we don't play like that. We're a lot slower. We hit it
Right.
less far.
Yeah, so like it's so funny how it feels to play adult American hurling is amazing. But what it looks like from the sideline, complete trash. So if we had something that kind of we gave a more realistic representation of the feeling of it, that'd be really cool. And that
Well,
sounds kind of like
I mean, we need a USGAA version of the fastest game on grass. Maybe, like the almost fastest game on grass, or like just something that showcase how we play over here and that we can use as promotional material. Because
How about should be the fastest game on grass?
see, I like it. This is what we're doing. We're brainstorming. We're coming up with great ideas. But yeah, like I think the USGA like is way behind on the technology side of everything. That was one of the reasons we started doing this podcast, because it was like, how fucking wild is it in 2024 that this organization with 200 clubs doesn't have a podcast? They're still sending out newsletters. Not that they need to stop doing that, but they could hop on and do a monthly podcast to say, hey, this is everything going on in the United States this month. Have fun out
Yeah.
there. But like, I don't think they've upgraded with how everyone consumes information now. Like, we were talking about emails earlier, and no one's looking at emails. Like, your board members are, but those are not getting passed down to the rest of the board or to the rest of the club members. But it's just like, why hasn't there been a video that these clubs can put out that we can use as promotional materials? Like, why haven't they figured out something with the GAA where we can show the games over here without getting, penalized and fined and all of that stuff? So it's,
and I want to add to the from my perspective on podcasting, because someone may hear that and be like, well, it takes a lot of time. But something Noah and I have like kind of been insistent about is that this takes us no extra time. It's the hour we're on the phone call, and then maybe an hour to do and the upload. So it's like a 2-hour commitment, and we're not trying to make it perfect. We're just trying to get
as you can
get
tell.
something out there. Yeah, very low production, and we believe perfect is the enemy of done.
Yes, it is.
But I
Definitely.
love what you were leading with there, Dretta, is that it's the empathy of it's a volunteer. This isn't a folks' full-time job, and that's so important to incorporate into all internal communications and every interaction. It's like leading with it of like, this is extra shit we're doing, and that's what the expectation should be. But whatever we're giving helps.
And if everybody did a little bit of extra shit, then you'd have more players in every club. It would be smoother. Like everything would be covered. But it's always the whatever the top like 8% or whatever statistically that does all of the work.
Right. Yep. And it's a tough thing to delegate. That's a challenge those folks face. Control and all that stuff that come.
Oh, I'm pretty good at delegating. I like to tell people what to do.
Right.
I wish
Yeah, and
I wish I was better.
delegation without micromanagement, which sounds like your grant money didn't come with any, which is awesome.
Yeah, yeah, that was the best way of doing it too. Like it was awesome. It was pretty much, Tom, the treasurer, was like, "Yeah, just send me stuff to pay." Like, this is
Really
great.
hope that see, no, has been kind of explaining to me the convention, and it sounds like a nightmare.
Mm.
Um,
So fun you have to go.
I want
That's a trap,
keynote.
by the way.
I want it to be like a where people get up on stage and give a talk, and it's like you learn something from it. That would be cool to have not just like a giant board meeting, but like if you three clubs got together a talk about your experience with this grant money and that would be so cool.
So that's usually what the Friday night of convention is for, is to have some sort of like it's not formal business, but it has something, and it's a different
Okay.
topic every year. Like sometimes it's arguing about something, sometimes it's like this happened this year, so they're presenting on it. Um,
Interesting. There's only so much time in the day, though,
Yeah.
but that's
yeah.
cool. So forgive my ignorance on it.
No, sometimes it doesn't happen, but like the year that we hosted convention, we talked about the World Sports Park and how we got fields out there that were like true
Okay.
Gaelic size fields.
Awesome. Yeah. Are these ever recorded and like kind of this knowledge base being built up? Okay, great.
That's kind of like what I was talking about. Like it's wild that they're not doing like a recording of convention and
Yeah.
broadcasting it out to the rest of the population. Like,
There's a little opportunity for like a 10 episode podcast is someone just recording it, breaking it up, and kind of like even adding context before and after
one,
they play the bit.
you would sleep through like 8 of those
Well, I
episodes.
know, but like imagine murder. What's that podcast that was super popular? Like it was the beginning of the murder podcast. It was like,
Only murders
uh,
in the building.
no, that's the show.
I know, but I love it.
This dude in Mississippi or Alabama. But anyway, but like an NPR-esque storytelling of like getting into the characters. So then when they're saying boring shit, at least you like, I don't know. We're
And
taking
then
this
like
too far.
the background is just like someone with an Irish accent yelling the whole time.
Yeah, I'm tuning in.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was my first convention, was like people were yelling and I could not understand what they were saying at all. So like voice recorded it just so I could like bring it back to Indianapolis and be like, this is what
Okay.
it was.
Wow. So now we need technology then to catch up with technology so we can have AI voice
Subtitles.
processing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and live subtitles being rendered.
But I do think it's one of those things that if you can. Now, who's going to sit there all day and watch the full thing? Probably not very many people, but it gives more people exposure to what happens at convention.
Mhm.
And whether you
And
like it
maybe
or
it's
not,
just the voting part.
yeah. And it's like, whether you like it or not, like, that's where all the decisions get made. And, you know, I assume most clubs, when all the motions come through, that the board is just voting on them themselves, and like the general population of the club doesn't even know what motions are going through. And because a lot of these motions are such, just changing 1 or 2 words to make it flow better or to make it suit them better or someone better,
Or
like,
design a loophole. Yeah, one word can make a loophole.
yeah, exactly.
How
So
many homegrown, how many on the field? Like that's a lot of the numbers up and down every year.
Oh, okay.
I'm more looking for transparency from everything, and I think that would be a good way to start. Hey, record convention, at least you have it. If there's any issues later, like the next week, it's not, well, he said this, and no, he said this, like, oh, well, we actually have it recorded. This is what happens. That way, personally, I think that keeps everyone honest. Like, if you're going to act like an asshole, like, boom, it's going to be there. And now the whole community will at least know that. Or it's like, oh
Yeah,
no, this person's actually trying to do the right thing, but this asshole is stopping it.
or you're drunk at the end, standing up and talking, your club should know that that's how you're being represented.
I like
That's another
all of
thing.
those consequences of simple recording. It strikes me as funny that I'm recorded at every meeting I go to at work because some asshole thought it would be sorry to my boss if you ever find this and listen to it. So I thought it's a good to read AI in every meeting. It's like this AI tool that records you and then transcribes you and then gives you an engagement score, like were people paying attention the whole time, and what the key points were, and it'll like screen cap. It's too much.
Wow.
But so we don't have to go that far.
Yeah.
Just
But I will point out to you that it is 2024. We have made it through a worldwide pandemic, and this is the one group that still insists on in-person representation to vote on things.
that's a great point.
Dretta, just use the proxy. Come on. Like, it's that easy.
Is it that easy?
I guess.
Is
I don't
there's-
know.
That's crazy.
There's a lot of fine print on who can be a proxy and how they can proxy and how you have to make sure that the correct communication is sent about that proxy.
Wow, interesting.
Yep. I was
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
proxy last year, so yeah.
And I get that you have to keep out the cheaters, but like I don't know that the processes have changed in like a few decades. Maybe more.
Maybe.
Maybe more.
I mean, compared to some of the folks in leadership, you guys are whippersnappers, and they have the wisdom here, and these hip new ideas, they're just a fad. Okay, this has always worked for us, and
Right, change is
if it's
tough.
not broken, yeah,
Change is tough.
It
It's
is.
if it's not broken, or if it's a little broken, or
It might be a little. I
if
mean,
it's
don't look at it. If it's not broken or it's a little broken, don't look at it.
Yeah. turn
Ignore
it turn it
what,
over.
what is it? A broken watch is right twice a day. Like, you can be broken and still right a little bit. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and when I get that sweet endorphin release of those 2 times a day, it gives me the confidence for the rest of the times of day.
But you
Those
know what's
are-
funny? We're all still here and we're all still participating. We're playing the game. So
know.
it must not be so terrible because we're still in it.
I mean,
There's something about it,
yeah.
that magical sport.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
Just
my-
makes an Erickson want to be Irish.
Get back over there.
oh,
Uh, well, it was great having you on.
It was great.
Yeah.
Anything else from you, Noah?
no. If you're in the Indianapolis area, come see the tournament June 15th. It is, it's 15th. World Fair Park. Anything else from you,
be
Drew?
And-
Incredible.
Man, after that, you can still come and see us in Indianapolis anytime. IndyGAA.com is our website and our calendar is up there. So you can come out to any practice, any match. And if you know of anyone in Indianapolis, send them out too.
This
Please
is
do that.
the club. If you can get involved with this club, it's an incredible opportunity to learn games.
Best
Yeah,
club
right,
in the Heartland
Noah?
Division. Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
it sucks that it's in a not great town, but the club is fantastic. And someone has been
Our
trying
cost of living is very low here, Noah.
Yeah, that's because y'all have feet of snow all the time during the winter, and that's not fun.
That's pretty dumb.
Yeah.
Wait, so I never asked what happened with Pat McAfee.
Oh, so I think that he got his stuff today. So we're waiting to see if he does something. And actually,
Are
We
you
gave
on his
him-
socials?
we gave him a little baby jersey too because he has a baby girl and like a mini Hurley and like the first touch ball. So we're hoping that maybe like the cute factor at least will get him to post something.
Yeah, everyone needs content, you know. So
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah,
Why not?
Yeah.
that's true.
Come on, Pat.
Yeah. So
Pat, I know you listen to this every week.
in between his own awesome show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rip the sleeves off my shirt in solidarity. Well,
For
it's
the
been
brand.
a pleasure, Dretta.
Absolutely. It's been
Yeah.
a pleasure.
Thank
Thanks
you guys
for
so
coming
much.
on.
This has been fun. I was nervous, but I didn't need to be.
Like I told you, there's no one listening anyway, so we're good.
just us here.